Your engine never stops spinning. Even at a red light, it turns over 1,000 times a minute. Yet your car sits perfectly still. Somewhere between that restless engine and the patient wheels, a single disc decides whether power flows or pauses. Press one pedal and the connection lets go. Lift it and the whole drivetrain locks back into one turning piece. Let's slice into the clutch and watch it happen. Here is the trouble. A gasoline engine only runs inside a narrow band of speed. Stall it too slow and it dies. So it must keep spinning, even when the car is stopped. But the wheels need to start from zero, shift between gears, and sometimes hold still. You cannot bolt a spinning engine straight to the wheels. You need a clutch, a way to join them gently and to part them clean. Bolted to the back of the engine is a heavy steel wheel, the flywheel. It spins with the crankshaft, always, smoothing each piston's shove into one steady turn. Its face is flat and polished, like a wide metal mirror. This face is one half of a friction couple. Whatever can press tightly against it will be dragged along, picking up the engine's speed. The flywheel offers the power. Now something must reach out and grab it. Facing the flywheel sits the clutch disc, a thin plate lined on both sides with tough friction material, much like a brake pad. Through its center runs a splined shaft, the input to the gearbox. The disc can slide along that shaft, but it cannot spin without spinning the shaft too. So if the disc turns, the gearbox turns, and the wheels turn. The whole question becomes simple. Is this disc pressed against the flywheel or floating free? Behind the disc waits the pressure plate, a spring-loaded clamp bolted to the flywheel. At rest, a broad cone of steel called the diaphragm spring pushes the plate forward with enormous force. It squeezes the friction disc hard against the spinning flywheel, sandwiching it between two surfaces. With that grip, the disc has no choice. It spins exactly as fast as the engine. This is the resting state of a clutch, clamped, connected, and ready to carry power. When the disc and flywheel are locked together, the engine and gearbox become one solid spinning unit. Power pours from the crankshaft, through the flywheel, into the friction disc, down the splined shaft, and onward to the wheels. There is no slipping, no waste. Whatever the engine turns, the wheels feel. This is how you cruise down a highway, foot off the pedal, the clutch quietly holding hands between two machines that must move as one. Now you press the clutch pedal. Your foot moves a lever, which pushes fluid or a cable, which drives a part called the release bearing straight toward the center of that diaphragm spring. The bearing can spin, so it touches the turning spring without grinding. It presses on the spring's inner fingers like pushing the middle of a stiff steel dish. And a diaphragm spring does something clever when you push its center. Push the center of that cone, and its outer edge pivots and lifts the other way. The pressure plate bolted to that edge eases back. Its mighty clamp relaxes. Suddenly the friction disc is no longer squeezed. It hangs free between flywheel and plate, touching neither with force. The engine spins on one side. The gearbox coasts on the other. They are divorced. Power can no longer cross the gap. The car is now disconnected from its engine. With the disc set free, the gearbox is no longer being driven by the engine. Its shafts can slow or change speed without a fight. Now you move the gear lever, and inside the box, small cone-shaped rings called synchronizers match the speeds of the next gear before it locks in. That is why shifting feels smooth, not crunchy. None of it is possible while power is flowing. The clutch must open first, every single time you change gear. Starting from a stop is the clutch's hardest job. The engine spins fast, the wheels sit at zero. If you slammed them together, the car would lurch or stall. So you let the pedal up slowly, and for a moment the disc only kisses the flywheel, sliding against it. That slip lets the wheels speed up gently while the surfaces rub. It is friction, turned into smooth motion and into heat. Ease up fully, and the slipping stops. Every slip costs a little material. The friction lining is sacrificial, designed to rub away slowly, just like the soles of your shoes. Ride the clutch too much, or launch too hard, and that lining thins faster. Eventually it grows too smooth and too slim to grip, and the disc begins to slip even when fully clamped. The engine races, but the car barely pulls. That is a worn clutch, and the reason it lives as a replaceable part. So follow the whole chain. The flywheel spins with the engine. The pressure plate clamps the friction disc against it, so power flows to the gearbox and the wheels. Press the pedal, and the release bearing pushes the diaphragm spring, which lifts the pressure plate and frees the disc. Now you shift, let the pedal up, the disc slips, then grips, and motion returns. One disc, clamped or freed, deciding the path of every horsepower. A spinning engine, a patient wheel, and a single disc brave enough to stand between them. Press, release, and feel the whole machine come together. That is the quiet genius of the clutch, hidden a few inches from your foot. Thanks for watching The Cutaway. Stay curious.